When I look back at that day, the one where everything shifted, it's like trying to stare directly into the sun. The details blur, and the emotions sting too much to process all at once. But still, I go back, mentally flipping through the events over and over, as if I'm going to find something new each time. The day had started like any other. There was no grand warning, no ominous feeling that crawled into my bones. Just a regular morning. I remember opening my eyes to the sound of birds chirping outside my window, the soft hum of the coffee machine, and the warmth of my blanket still wrapped around me. How was I supposed to know that I'd never feel this peace again? That morning, I remember standing by the kitchen counter, staring out of the window at the street below. Everything seemed perfectly normal. People walked their dogs. Some were rushing to work. Kids were playing hopscotch on the sidewalk. I even smiled as I watched them for a moment, feeling the soft glow of contentment. It was rare. That kind of peaceful happiness. Then, the phone rang. Isn't it funny how you can remember the smallest details about a moment when your life changes forever? The ringtone. The mug in my hand. The way the sunlight reflected off the fridge. My hand was steady when I picked up the phone, but I couldn't tell you what the voice on the other end said at first. There was this ringing in my ears, a sudden rush of static that made my knees weak. It wasn't until later that the words came through clearly, like they'd been delayed by some unseen force. I'm sorry to inform you. There's nothing that can prepare you for hearing those words, for the finality they carry. My father had died. The details were sparse, the kind they give over the phone to someone who's expected to stay composed. Sudden heart attack. I remember trying to breathe, but the air felt too thick, like I was drowning in it. How could someone be here one moment and just gone the next? How could a life end with a phone call? I stood there, numb, clutching the phone long after the voice had gone silent. The world outside my window continued moving, blissfully unaware of the seismic shift that had occurred in my reality. I remember staring at the kids still playing on the sidewalk and wanting to scream. How could they not know? How could the world continue to spin while mine had come to a complete and violent halt? Grief is strange. It doesn't hit you all at once. It comes in waves. Some small, others so massive you think they'll crush you under their weight. At first, I was in shock. It was like someone had thrown me into the deep end of a pool, and I was flailing, gasping for air, trying to figure out which way was up. The first few days were a blur, making arrangements, calling family members, everyone offering their condolences. It was all so sterile. The way people talked about him like he was an object instead of a person, like he had suddenly turned into something that needed to be taken care of. The funeral was a haze. I remember the flowers, the smell of roses so thick it made my stomach turn. I remember people shaking my hand, their eyes filled with pity, their voices hushed like they were afraid to speak too loudly in the presence of death. Everyone said the same things. He was such a good man. He'll be missed. I'm so sorry for your loss. As if any of it mattered. As if their words could bring him back. I couldn't cry at the funeral. Not because I didn't feel the loss, but because I was too angry. Angry at the universe for taking him. Angry at myself for not spending more time with him. Angry at him for leaving me. The anger was a constant companion, wrapping itself around my grief like a smothering blanket. I didn't know what to do with it. There was no one to blame. No way to fix it. It just sat there, festering, growing larger with each passing day. And then, there was the guilt. It came creeping in slowly at first. A whisper in the back of my mind. I hadn't been the best daughter. I hadn't called enough, visited enough. I'd been too wrapped up in my own life to notice that time was slipping away. That's the thing no one tells you about losing someone. You start replaying every moment you had with them, every decision, every conversation, and you can't help but find yourself lacking. If only I had done more. If only I had said something different. If only I had known. As the weeks passed, I found myself sinking deeper into a pit I couldn't crawl out of. Grief had become this heavy weight I carried with me everywhere. I tried to get back to normal, whatever that meant. But nothing felt the same. The world was too bright, too loud. Every day felt like I was going through the motions, pretending to be okay because that's what people expected. But inside, I was screaming. So, I decided to run. It wasn't a conscious decision at first. I just started driving. Anywhere. Nowhere. I needed to escape. To get away from the suffocating feeling that had settled in my chest. I found myself on back roads, winding through the countryside, surrounded by nothing but fields and trees. There was something soothing about it. The isolation. The way the world seemed so much quieter out there. I ended up in a small town a few hours away from home. A place I'd never been before. It was the kind of town where everyone knew each other. Where time seemed to move a little slower. I didn't tell anyone where I was going. I didn't want anyone to find me. I just needed to be alone. For the first few days, I stayed in a cheap motel on the edge of town. I didn't do much. Just sat in the room, staring at the walls. Occasionally venturing out for food or to walk aimlessly through the streets. It was peaceful in a way, but also unsettling. Without the distractions of everyday life, I was left alone with my thoughts. And they weren't kind. The anger that had been simmering inside me finally reached its boiling point one night. I don't know what triggered it. Maybe it was the loneliness. Maybe it was the fact that, no matter how far I ran, I couldn't escape the grief. But something inside me snapped. I found myself standing in the middle of the motel room, shaking with rage. I wanted to destroy something. Anything. I started with the lamp. It crashed to the floor, the bulb shattering into a million tiny pieces. But that wasn't enough. I grabbed the chair, throwing it against the wall. The sound of splintering would echoing in the small room. The mirror was next. My reflection distorted as I slammed my fist into the glass. The pain was sharp, but it barely registered through the haze of fury. I watched as the blood trickled down my hand, dripping onto the floor. And I felt nothing. It wasn't until I collapsed onto the bed, exhausted and spent, that the tears finally came. They weren't the soft, gentle kind of tears you see in movies. No, these were gut-wrenching sobs. The kind that make your whole body shake. That leave you gasping for breath. I cried for what felt like hours, letting out all the pain and anger I had been holding onto for so long. And when it was over, I felt empty. Hollow. But in that emptiness, there was a strange sense of relief. For the first time since my father died, I didn't feel like I was drowning. I didn't feel okay. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But I didn't feel like I was being suffocated by my own emotions anymore. After that night, something shifted. I don't know if it was the release of all that pent-up emotion or just the realization that running wasn't going to solve anything. But I knew I couldn't stay in that town forever. It was time to go home. The drive back felt different. The roads were the same. The scenery unchanged. But I wasn't the same person who had left. I still didn't know how to deal with the grief. But I had come to understand that it wasn't something I could outrun. It was always going to be there. A shadow lurking in the background. But maybe, just maybe, I could learn to live with it. When I got home, everything was as I had left it. The house was still the same. The neighborhood still quiet. But I felt like I was stepping into a different world. One that I didn't quite belong to anymore. It was disorienting at first. Trying to slip back into a life that felt so far removed from the one I had been living in my head. But slowly, I started to find my footing again. Healing isn't linear. It's not a straight path that you can follow from point A to point B. It's messy. Full of twists and turns. Setbacks and small victories. There were days when I felt like I was making progress. Like I could finally see a light at the end of the tunnel. And then there were days when the grief would hit me out of nowhere. And I'd be right back where I started. But over time, the waves of grief became less frequent. Less overwhelming. I started to find small moments of peace. Little pockets of joy that I had thought were lost to me forever. I began to rebuild my life. Piece by piece. Learning how to carry the weight of my loss without letting it crush me. I still think about my father every day. I still miss him with a fierceness that takes my breath away sometimes. But I've come to understand that grief isn't something that ever truly goes away. It becomes a part of you. Woven into the fabric of your being. And that's okay. Because with the grief comes the love. The memories. The parts of him that I carry with me. It took me a long time to find peace. Longer than I expected. And in a way, it's still a work in progress. But I've come to accept that the journey through grief is never really over. It changes you. Shapes you in ways you never could have anticipated. But it doesn't have to destroy you. I've learned that it's okay to feel the pain. To sit with the sadness and the anger. To let it wash over you without fighting it. Because it's only by facing those emotions head-on that you can begin to heal. There are still moments when the grief catches me off guard. When I hear a song or see something that reminds me of him. And the sadness comes rushing back. But those moments are fleeting now. Like passing clouds. And I've learned to let them come. Knowing that they'll pass. And I'll be okay. Life is different now. But it's not over. There's still beauty in the world. Still joy to be found. Even in the midst of loss. And while the pain of losing my father will always be a part of me, it doesn't define me. I've found peace. Not in spite of the grief and anger, but because of it. I've learned to carry the weight of my loss without letting it crush me. And in that, I found a strength I never knew I had.